Yeah. So in this session, we'll be starting with object-oriented programming in Python. Okay. So Python basically it's an object-oriented programming only. But how do we create our own class using Python program? Okay. And how do we make use of those classes to create objects? Okay. Then how do we access the various methods of that particular class? How do we create an instance of that class? All these things we'll see. Okay. Now, with relevant to this particular topic, we have two subtitles. One is called encapsulation. Other thing is called data abstraction. What is encapsulation? Encapsulation is nothing but keeping the attribute or data and the methods together inside a class is called encapsulation. Okay. See, if you look at any object in the real world, the attributes and methods are inseparable. Okay, for example, if you take a human being, okay, if a person, okay, a person called Ram, okay, has height of 5.6 inches. Now, if he has to grow to 5.7 inches, then he has to do some workout or exercises. Okay, he has to jump, walk, or whatever he has to do, so that his attribute value, which is the height attribute, which is presently 5.6 becomes 5.7. Okay, so if you look at this attribute called height, okay, which has got a value called 5.6, if it has to change it to 5.7, then the method of workout has to be applied by that ROM object. Okay, so this is inseparable. See, every object if it has to change state, then the state change can happen only by calling the method of that particular object. This is applicable to human being or real world, any other object also. So without applying the methods, the state change cannot happen. Okay, so that's called encapsulation. Encapsulation is the activity of keeping the attribute and the method together inside a class. That's called encapsulation, because they cannot be separated. Right? Then what is data abstraction? Data abstraction is nothing but hiding some of the data which is not required to the outside world and showing only the relevant data. That's called data abstraction. Okay. See, in real life also, we will not reveal everything to our friends or relatives, whoever it is. Okay, we keep some things hidden. Okay, that's close to our chest, close to our heart. Okay, so that's called data abstraction. You don't need to disclose everything to the outside world. You keep some within your heart, or close to your heart, close to your chest. Okay, that's called data abstraction. So both data abstraction and encapsulation are part of object-oriented programming in Python. Right? Now we'll get into action. I'll just go to my Jupyter notebook. Look at this. It's a fresh page. Now, how do you create a class? So when you say class, it's a template or a model, okay, using which objects are created or instantiated. Okay, I can give a real life example. We call a male class and female class. A male class, from male class, okay, ROM is created. ROM object is created. From female class, okay, so see, Reshma is created. Reshma is created. So only if the classes are there, you can realize with the objects. The object can be created. Fine. So the classes are nothing but specifications. Without specification, you cannot create objects. So we are going to write a specification for a class called point. So let us say def class, not def actually, it's basically class point. Okay, fine. So I can, within argument, I can just give an object, or right now I don't need anything. See, so there should be a keyword called a class. Then I have a class name called a point. Then I just give colon, enter. Then what can I do? Okay, I can just simply say pass, so that nothing is there. But I can create an object of this particular class, which we call p1 is equal to point. Okay, then I'll just say print p1. Let us see what happens. See, look at this. So when I say, so this is a specification, and we are calling the, basically it's called constructor. We are calling the constructor, and our object is created here, and the object is referred by p1, and we are just printing the P1 object, but P1 object has no data at all, so nothing can be printed because it will be given just pass. Pass means it's like null statement. Nothing is there inside. Now what I will just say, if I will just create some one method called initialization. That's called double underscore init underscore underscore. Okay, then self comma x comma y. See, def is a method. We already discussed about functions. Okay, basically, this is also a function, but only thing is this function is inside a class, so it's called a method. So this underscore underscore double underscore init underscore underscore is a initialization method. So here what I'll just say, self is nothing but it refers to the object on the left side. Look at this. Suppose, see, with respect to this particular statement, self refers to P1. Suppose if I say P2 is equal to point, okay, so with respect to the seventh statement, self refers to P2. That's all inside the class. Now what I'll do, I'll just say self.x is equal to x and self.y is equal to y. Fine. Then I will have one more method called underscore underscore str underscore underscore and just say self, okay, which is going to return a string format of our attributes, x, y attributes. Okay. Now x and y, okay, they are attributes of this particular objects, sorry, class objects. See, for example, I have two objects, P1, P2. So P1, P2 will have their own x and y. P1 will have its own xy. P2 will have its own x and y. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to use underscore underscore str underscore underscore. So this is string method will return a string format of the xy attributes. So what I'll just say this way, rf raw format. Then I'll say x equal to within flower bracket self dot x and y is equal to self dot y. Okay. Now let us see what is output. I'm just printing P1. Okay, look at this. So I'm getting some problem. So what was the problem? We'll just see. Init. Okay. So let us see. I'm missing required two question argument x and y. Yeah. I had pass values 1, 2 and some 10, 20. So what it says now, the parameters are missing. See, now the constructor underscore underscore init underscore underscore, okay, has three parameters. One is self. Self is an implicit parameter. So self refers to this object, P1 object. As far as statement number 8 is concerned. Self refers to P2 object as far as 9 is concerned. Okay, now 1, 2, they go to x and y. Now that x goes to self.x and y goes to self.y. So the x and y attributes of P1, they get value 1 and 2. Look at this. Now there will be no error. Look at this. X equal to 1, y is equal to 2. Suppose if I say P2, see x equal to 10, y is equal to 20. Fine. So this is the usage of underscore underscore init method and underscore underscore str method. Fine. Now what happens is, the problem with this approach is this xy, they are attributes which are public actually by default. Look at this. Now I'll just say p1.x is equal to 100. Okay, then I'll just print p1. Look at this. Now you see, even though I created p1 object using this constructor and p2 using this constructor format, I can change p1.x from outside. See, because this is a class. This is a class. Okay, the class has got two attributes x and y, and x belongs to one object, y belongs to, see, x and y belong to one object. Okay, p1, p2, they have their own x and y attributes. Now what happens, by being the data not private to that particular objects, you can change even outside the class. See, we are able to change outside. The class ends here. The class ends here, but we create objects here, and then we are able to access x and y here. Look, I'll just say p2 dot, or I'll just say p1 dot y is equal to 200. Now look at this. See what happened. So p1, p2, x, y, we are able to change from outside the class also. So this should not be the case. This should not be the case. So that is why we have to see prefix x and y with double underscore. So look at this. So this self dot double underscore x denotes the X private attribute of one object and Y private attribute of another one object. Okay, the same way I'll just go here and just say X Y. Now you see when I try to, even if I try to change it, now look at this from outside. Look at this. See, I created P1 with 1, 2, P2 with 10, 20, and I tried to change P1.x with 100, P1.y with 200, but I'm printing P1, it's still printing the old, okay, 1 and 2 only. Because X and Y, okay, they are private attributes of P1 objects. In the same way, you can try to do with, P2 also. So I just say P2 dot X is equal to, I'll just say 500, P2 dot underscore Y is equal to 1000. Then I'll just say print P2. So look at this. See, it's still printing 1020 only. Even though we tried to change it to 500, 100, okay, we are able to print only the old values only. That means, they becomes, they're private to the class. So the underscore X and underscore Y, they are private attributes of an object of that particular class. Okay, so you cannot change it from outside the class. If you want to you have to change through the class itself. So how can I change it? I can use some get method and set method. So look at I'll just say f set x self dot x. I can say self dot underscore x is equal to x, and I can say set y. Look at the set y will be y value. I can say y, and I can change it to y. Okay, this is possible. So set x and set y. Then I can get x and get y. So every attribute should have a. So I'll just say get x, and this time there is no input parameter. So it just returns self dot x. Okay, same way I can just say get y, return self dot y. Okay, so now I can access those values using, see, look at this. I just remove this. So I can just say p1 dot set x will be 100. Then I just print p1. Look at this. So you can just see here. See, we printed before changing, after changing. After changing, we're able to change the value of an x attribute to 100. Same way we can say, okay, p2 dot set y. I'll just say 300. Okay, then I'll just say Control C, Control V, p2. So you can just see here, yeah, p2's y was changed to 300. p2's x was 100. Okay, so when the moment you make the attributes private by prefixing with double underscore, those attributes values cannot be changed outside the class. If at all you have to change it, you should change it only through set method of that particular class. Set method for every attribute. Okay, fine. So these are, we create a class and we create an instance of that class. Okay, we try to provide attributes, and we try to provide private attributes. Fine. So, and we have some restrictions which attributes can be accessed outside the class, which cannot be accessed, and how to access them. So all these things we discuss in this demonstration. Hope this was useful. We will meet in the next demonstration with more examples. Thank you.